Fire is a magic, rise of fire, as in a backup part one. Or as I'm going to like to call these next three chapters, the clip show! Trixie's eyes widened at the image in the crystal ball. Standing upright on his two rear legs, the furless creature screamed in pain as a spire bit into his hand, with enough force to draw blood. He recoiled, sliding the arachnid to the ground in the process. Before the spire could recover, one of the other furless beings rushed in and stomped it, killing it. The crystal ball zoomed in on the bitten individual. His brow furrowed over his hazel eyes, his gaze centered on the wounded hand. Despite not having fur and being part of a different species, Trixie saw an odd resemblance between the individual in the crystal ball and the pony that had grown to be her closest friend. Using his free hand to adjust the glasses over his eyes, the presumably young male groaned, "Man, this spider's got a mean bite." Trixie's ears. "No, I'm not saying it! It's obvious. We've all been here." The images continued to play out. Following Pierre as he struggled to make it home, not passed out from whatever the bite was doing to him. Trixie's mind struggled to register what it was seeing. Lived in what appeared to be a very large city with skyscrapers and countless of mostly headless bipeds. A couple of minutes before she could accept that the place in which Pierre traveled was indeed someplace other than Equestria. The silver maned blue unicorn rested her forehead and her hooves, suddenly dizzy, and the urge to faint was proving rather difficult to resist. Fortunately, she fought down, so nor her lever under her breath, avoiding commotion in front of every pony. "I don't believe it. My best friend is an alien." That was just surreal. The first pony to see her for who she really is turned out not to be a pony at all. "So, what does that say about me?" Polly reached over and placed her hoof on the former stage which is his shoulder. "You okay, Trixie?" Was this why I was surprised? Trixie bore an honest smile, such as she chose to reserve for a select few. "Yes, Twilight, I'm perfectly fine." She got her posture appropriately at the table. "Trixie always did say Parker was the oddest pony she ever met." The projection dissipated, allowing another image to form in its place. Trixie bit her lip and focused her on the crystal ball once more. "Now it makes sense." The projection dissipated, allowing another image to form in its place. Trixie bit her lip and set her focus on the crystal ball once more. "Now it makes sense." The image faded in. Parker stood before his bedroom, staring at himself. The mirror and the figure remained slack-jawed, but they could still hear his voice rather clearly, though it sounded wildly waverly. So it wasn't a voice at all. What the heck's going on? My body's ripped. Did I sleep my way when I walked to the gym last night or what? Wait a minute. I'm not even wearing my glasses. I can see perfectly. How did this happen? No! Are we really going to have us always comment almost every 5 minutes on Twilight, on Spider-Man's origin story? Really? Can we be doing something more interesting? Over the next few scenes, the ponies managed to discern the Spire build. You know! God, is there anybody here listening to this who hasn't seen Spider-Man, watched the Spider-Man series, played a Spider-Man game, or, read a Spider-Man comic that doesn't know who Spider-Man is, what Spider-Man can do, his powers, his origin story? Anybody? Yeah. Except for babies. Gave us superpowers, force strength of Spire, 6 sense for danger, lightning fast reflexes, unmatched motility, superior flexibility, and the ability to cling to almost any surface. Curly Beard circus proud, trying to free the paper stuck to the palm of his hand. This might be kind of tricky. He walked across the street, the expression on his face and fuzzy nature of the image likely indicating he was daydreaming. The image flares a real red monochrome, and the young man stumbled, disoriented, clutching his hand over the side of his head. What the heck is that? Pierre turned around, eyes widening at the large pointless vehicle. He leaped out of the way of our car. Next! And, of course, more commenting. The ponies watched Pierre saw his chance to make a profit. In the newspaper ad, the pointed young man directs his show business. After inventing his webseries to go along with his own self-designed costume, Pierre became an underground sensation known as the Amazing Spider-Man. And Rarity is making comments. Twilight is making comments. And do I really need to say this? Really, and the others are basically spending most of the time in this chapter just saying, hey, remember what Pierre could do? Like this. I'm more invested in a web series he invented. It's hard to believe he made those at such short notice. I know Parker's a chemist, but that's pure genius. Yeah, we know that. That is still annoying when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Time raced forward within the crystal ball, showing a small household. Dusty's backpack over his shoulders, Parker scurried out the front door. Okay, I'm going to the library. See you two later. An older female peeked her head from the corner. Would you please remember to make me a dozen eggs this time, Peter? He waved his hand dismissively. Yes, sure, Aunt May. So, are we mixing Amazing Spider-Man with comic? His delivery was nonchalant, as if the request didn't matter. Mature male stepped around the corner until he was a couple of feet away from the teenager, and clasped a large hand on the boy's shoulder. Hold on, Pierre. I'll drive you to the library. I just thought about this. But this feels like this is the third time we've had a discussion about the Parker murder. You know, this is why I love Spider-Man Homecoming. They skipped it. This is why I probably go love the Spider-Man game, because they skip it. We know this story! You just wait. I'm sorry to hurry, Parker shot back, his irritation evident. No, you've been skipping out on your chores, ignoring Aunt May. From what I was told today, you wanted to start a fight with that Flash Thompson kid. And the teachers weren't there to stop you. There's no telling what could have happened. Exasperated, Pierre threw his hands up defensively. Flash started it, like he always does. He's been picking on me since I was 10. Maybe it's time I finally gave him a reality check. I realized he yelled. The young man inhaled deeply to calm himself before exhaling. Ben watched Pierre in serene expression. Then what? You beat Flash up, what then? All you do is stoop down to his level. You're better than that, Pierre. He placed his hand on her nephew's shoulder, giving a soft, reassuring squeeze. Pierre failed to meet his gaze. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Clearing his throat, Ben placed his hands on his thighs. I know I'm not your father, but... Oh, by the way, favorite Uncle Ben is the Raimi movie. Stop right there. We know you're not my father, so do me a favor and stop pretending to be! Peter stepped into the arena as Spider-Man. He had a chance to walk away with a cash prize of $10,000. If he could last 3 minutes against the Professor Fire Bonesaw. Still frustrated from his argument with Uncle Ben, Pierre used that as motivation to defeat his opponent in under a minute. With a clean win, the prize money was as good as his. Fortunately, the fight promoter had other ideas. Pierre raised his brow with money in hand. What's going on? This is only 100. The ad said the price was $10,000. Paying the teenager no mind, the man continued to count his money. Read the fine print, kid. You got the money if you last 3 minutes. You beat Bonesaw in 1. Oh, come on! You could have at least let him do the Bonesaw voice. It's okay, guys. I'll make it up to you. Bonesaw is ready! You're lucky you got what I just gave you. Cleansing his fist and crunching the money in his grasp, Pierre could barely contain the anger he felt. What kind of cooking game are you running? I need that money. I forgot the part where that's my problem. The prominent employee passed Pierre's direction and towards the door. Now get out of here. Pierre glared at the man for a few seconds, before storming out the room. After cleaning out his locker, Pierre traveled down a long hallway in a huff. Eventually reached the oddly shaped door at the end of the path. However, the moment he pressed the elevator button, a commotion broke out at the opposite end of the hall. The man ran towards Pierre, followed by a couple of yelling guardsmen. The fight promoter. Pierre allowed the man in the elevator to ride mercilessly. The elevator doors closed before anyone else could stop him. The fight promoter slowed to a halt as he approached the teenager, holding his hand over his bleeding guest's forehead. What you doing? You could have taken that guy apart! He groaned, gritting his teeth in pain. Now he's going to get away with my money. Pierre turned his back on the promoter, pressed the elevator button door. Once they arrived, he guarded the older man, folded his arms, and shook his head before the door closed. I forgot the part where that's my... What? Everybody mentions visits, and you know, everybody else here is basically analyzing and doing the same thing that you would be doing if you were watching Spider-Man. Peter watched from the business, stumbled upon a large crowd of people soon after. So we are mixing the Raimi movies with the Amazing Spider-Man stuff? Curious, Peter forced his way through the crowd. What he saw there pulled gas from every pony. Uncle Ben's blue eyes were gazed over, threatening to roll in the back of his head while his life slowly flowed away. Blood poured from the hole in his chest. He reached out and took the older man's hand in his own. Peter told him this tale. Revelation was still difficult to accept. Peter's uncle had been gunned down. Shot. Dead. Wait! We have something good here, people! Applejack stumbled back, stared at the crystal ball for several moments. Her throat seized up in shock and tears rolling down her cheek. Rarity stepped to the farm pony to offer comfort, tears spilling from her eyes. To get back, Applejack swatted her away, wiped her face with her hoof. Unicorn whispered to her, voice filled with concern. Applejack, are you alright? Applejack shook her head, but she said nothing and refused to return the unicorn's gaze. Farmer's eyes burned. Her own memories had been stirred too much for her liking. It's like that night a few years before, when her mother and father were. Applejack shook her head, trying to dislodge the memories. She did not want to think about it, but her mind refused to leave the subject alone. The ache in her heart remained as well. Applejack bit down her quivering lip, tuning out her thoughts and focusing on the crystal ball. No one might. Wait. Detective faded into yet another memory. Pierre heard the murders persisted from the police. It was in Ben's car, not far from Pierre's position. Throwing his costume on in an alley, Parker raced across the rooftops until he spotted his uncle's car. Having lost the police in a traffic jam, the perp hid away in an abandoned warehouse. He was unaware Spider-Man had followed him. Small rays of light, made bright by relative darkness, bored into the warehouse. But he only accentuated the darkness there. Rays clear his movements, Pierre pounced for the shouts and attacked the criminal without mercy. Spider-Man drove his face into the man's stomach, falling over a backhand that knocked him into a wooden beam and to the ground. Reaching into his pocket, the man turned with his gun raised, but Pierre kicked it away, knocking it through the nearest glass window. The murderer tried to crawl away from his attacker, desperate to get away, but Spider-Man flipped over him and gripped his throat, lifting his body to the ground. As he pinned him against the wall, Pierre brought his fist back, ready to strike the man down. The criminal cried out with violent breaths. Wait! You don't have to do this! Just give me a chance! Fireman tightened his grip. What about the old man you shot? Did you give him a chance? Parker snarled, his fist quaking with answer. It's so easy to end your miserable life right now, but... He shoved the man's hand to the dirty glass, rendering the criminal unconscious. My uncle taught me better than that. The hole he created brought in extra light, revealing the man's face. Pierre recoiled, dropped the man as the image blurred. Pierre's tears under his mask. The projected image raced through the events they all are seeing. It's all my fault. The man that killed his uncle was the criminal he purposely let escape. The police surrounded the warehouse, but Pierre had already fled, leaving the killer to his fate. However, a constant stream of self-recriminations flowed through Parker's thoughts. He obviously blamed himself for his uncle's death. Ben's final words echoed through the throne room. With great power comes great responsibility. Her head over her eyes, his makeshift shield, and fled from her room. Applejack, where are you going? The blonde pony stopped in her tracks, holding the door open. She refused to show her face to any pony. Those with keen eyes tears over her white freckles. Just needs a buyer. Applejack managed a strained voice before coughing violently. She managed a stuttery breath before slamming the door shut. Kane tilted her head to the side, the grief in her eyes more obvious. I've never seen Applejack act like that. Should some point go after her? Rarity shook her head, wiping her own tears. I would not recommend that. Applejack will return whenever she's ready. Unicorn shifted her deep blue irises to the crystal ball to the face whatever came next. Again, skipping, you guys aren't missing much. Does Rainbow Dash saying that Pierre wanted to not has to become overconfident because of similar to what he went through. Even though I care to differentiate and say it's not so much his arrogance, so much so that it's more like a selfish piece of crap. But let's move on. Plus, everybody is crying like this is the most tragic death they've ever seen in their lives. After his uncle's death, Pierce apparently decided to dedicate his life to using his powers for the greater good. With every opportunity that arose, Spider-Man would arrive and save the day. All these things he few. Never stayed for reward or recognition. While for fame, he was ignored. To him, life is a great big bang up. Whenever there's a hang up, you'll find a Spider-Man. Finding Pierce is high-speed pursuits are thrilling and awe-inspiring. Also, he wanted to attempt, Rainbow Dash wanted to attempt the impossible somersault Spider-Man performed. Fortunately, Peter dedicated most of his life to his heroics. He failed to maintain his personal life. Aunt May dealt with depression and housing foreclosure notices. He lost memories of Peter working a few jobs that he could not hold for more than a week to help his aunt financially whatever way he could. This made Peter's life far more difficult than it already was. He struggled through college, never failing due to attendance issues. Sadly, Peter didn't seem to have many friends either. The few he felt constantly let down. Peter having missed several engagements due to his heroic activities. It didn't help that nobody knew of his second life as the second hated hero of the city. Peter practically succumbed to poverty, his apartment being a single room with little to no legroom. I nearly succumbed to homelessness several times over the course of what looked to be at least a year. Peter managed to land a solid job at the Daily Bugle, city primary newspaper publisher. Spider-Man was a hot topic, but due to his elusive nature, nobody could take a decent photograph of the vigilante. Peter took pictures of himself, not that he would tell anyone. He became a freelance photographer. He managed to avoid losing his apartment, but at a price. Bugle led a smear campaign against Spider-Man, targeting his already sketchy rep. In a sense, Peter was the source of his own misery, but the Bugle was his only source of income, making life significantly more better than sweet for the young man. Somehow, despite the countless heroics Spider-Man performed on his own ruin, the city was quick to believe Jameson's tripe and shunning the hero. Homie was to watch as crowds of people threw food and trash as Peter swung away, grinding their teeth in anger as the very people Peter saved from him. Yet Peter stayed the course. He continued to help those around him. His former boss, arrogant and spiteful enough to light a fire underneath anyone. Green articles aimed at him added to the flame. It was this altered between Jameson and Peter. The editor continued to sell newspaper at Spider-Man's expense. The job barely paid enough for the photographer to live in a squalor one-room apartment. This is poor at best. Peter carried a pessimistic attitude at times. It does certainly explain why, for he never received anything worthwhile for his good deeds, though some of his victims of heroics did sometimes manage to thank him for saving them before he could swing off. That way they tried to tune out Jameson's irritating voice, not wanting to see any more of the current memory. Fortunately, Peter's memories did just as the mayor wanted to have phased into another series of images, this time of fights with all sorts of unusual villains. Oh. What? You see a problem? You love Jameson. Yeah, I do. I really do. I love Triple J. But what gets me is that we're about to do another flanderization of Triple J. This is something that I love about the Sam Raimi trilogy, that is subtle, but reminds me why I love Triple J. It is also something that pops up in the Spider-Man cartoon. But it's something that I find that people just forget. We all know that Jameson is usually crap, more crap. But there is more to his character than that. He's not just a one-note, bring me pictures of Spider-Man! There is a bit of a heart to him. Granted, not much, but there is a bit of a heart to him. Maybe I'm just seeing something different. Maybe I'm just the guy who remembers that when Jameson found out that a senator was a freaking racist, Triple J told him that in response he was going to lead the world's biggest smear campaign against the senator and tear him down a notch. Or how in the movie, Jameson, when me and Green Goblin didn't rat Peter out. He said, I don't know. The stuff comes through the mail. Does anyone remember that? Anyone beside me? It was a great moment. Or how in the 90s, they gave the best reason of all for Jameson hating people in the map. Hating Spider-Man. Probably better even than the comics. Granted, this would mean that John Jameson would be an orphan, but would lose his mom, but I love it how they said that Jameson hated people in masks because he was such a badass reporter that he was hunting down this one guy in a mask, and then the guy shot Jameson's wife dead. But I just know that this fic is about to just give us the one note Jameson, rather than a Jameson that I love, that makes me love him. The one with more sides to his personality. I mean, come on. You guys know he hates Spider-Man, but did you know Triple J loves Captain America? Yeah, he does. Triple J loves Captain America to death. But here we go. Fortunately, Peter's memories did just as everyone wanted, faced another series of images. This time, a fight with all sorts of unusual villains. These beings were different, each with very odd special abilities. However, they all shared a malicious intent, all having come to blows with Spider-Man. It was a rogues gallery, and everyone wants his Peter fought on each different occasions. Electro was a man whose body was made out of electricity. Ugh, Ultimate Electro! Shocker wore a vibrational suit which could sever bones and fight physical attacks. Rhino was a super beast with super strength to spare. Kraven was an exceptionally skilled hunter, using cunning and technology to take his trophies through lethal force. Mysterio was a master of illusion and trickery. Dr. Octopus was a demented genius, with 4 deadly mechanical arms lashed onto his back. There were many more, too many to count. As the scenes rolled past, certain individuals stood out in Peter's memories. Thus were brought to the forefront of every pony's attention. First, there was the time Peter fought for control of the Tablet of Order and Chaos. If Agnes fell into the evil hands, all time and space and reality would be torn asunder. Peter successfully retrieved 2 pieces, so was on his way to the third, but it had been picked up by the Juggernaut, said to be one of the most powerful individuals on Earth, with at least 10 times the strength of Spider-Man. The fight was fierce, having rampaged through the city. Spider-Man managed to lure the Juggernaut to a top of an empty building still under construction. Moving on, because I don't want to listen to the ponies talk about this. I just want to watch this. Slamming his fist into the palm, Juggernaut stomped over to Spider-Man, stopping once they were only a few feet apart. Peter stood barely half the man's size, only reaching his midsection at full height. Peter was the underdog in more than half of his major battles, but he always found ways to win in a true underdog fashion. Juggernaut threw a wide punch that actually managed to connect, sending Spider-Man flying into the air. Before he could plummet into the building, he shot 2 strands of webbing onto his attacker and slingshot back to him. Landing and perching himself on Juggernaut's chest, Peter assaulted the large man's exposed jaw with a series of hooks, crosses, and uppercuts. The giant threw another wide punch to counter, but Spider-Man ducked underneath the blow, flipped overhead, and landed on his attacker's back. Swiftly, Peter slid his fingers under the man's helmet, tossed away the protective headgear, and followed over a roundhouse to the temple, knocking the heels to the ground. Fulham regrouped, forced himself back to his feet, and ran full speed after Spider-Man. Peter saw a strand of webbing to the side of his steel beam and pulled himself to the highest point. The Juggernaut followed to the leap, landing in a column as well. That won't stop me! I'm the Juggernaut, remember? The self-styled Juggernaut climbed under the corner hero, oblivious to the protesting creaks of bending steel. Once I start moving, nothing can stop me. That's what I'm counting on! Peter pointed at the man before the steel beam buckled, bending to Juggernaut's weight. So tell me, what happens when you start moving down? Juggernaut lost his grip and fell back first. Spider-Man leaped over, planting himself on his chest as they neared the roof of the building. Peter gulped, immediately regretted his decision. This is going to be a bumpy ride. With Spider-Man riding his living battering ram, the two of them burst through the roof and every floor of the building. The force behind each collision shook the structure's very foundation, shattering the supports, the walls, and everything else. Eventually, the Juggernaut smashed to the concrete basement, Impact spinning Spider-Man careening across the room. The entire building collapsed in on itself, and a large dust cloud rose from the tremors. As the dust settled, Spider-Man pulled himself from the rubble with the fragment he wanted in hand. It's back, finding Juggernaut unconscious underneath piles of stones. Turning his finger, Spider-Man managed a weak and wavering victory cry before limping away from the scene. Ta-da! Yada yada yada. More complaining from the peanut gallery. Don't care. A man clad in green and armored suit pierced on the wall, slinking his metallic tail directly into Spider-Man's torso. Peter attempted to counter with a spin kick, but his enemy blocked the attack with one arm, using his free arm to punch Spider-Man in the forehead. Gathering crowd applauded the act. The armor-clad man jumped to the nearest wall, scaling his Spider-Man tail, albeit with less grace. A second memory formed under the first. Like the last, it featured Spider-Man in a lopsided battle against Scorpion. It turned out Mount Gargan had turned into the Scorpion with the use of a mutagenic drug, giving him super strength and durability greater than Spider-Man's. This excitement was Spider-Man was funded by Jameson to help give the city a true hero, not the wall-crawling menace that, according to Jameson, constantly ran amok and flouted the law. His first appearance, he said, was to make a statement and beat Spider-Man before a crowd. This was our second meeting, and Gargan moved out to prove he was truly the vigilante's bearer. Spider-Man flipped over to Scorpion, but Gargan's tail wrapped it around his body, slides him headfirst into the ground, pierced by crumbling mindless manual limbs. Moving on, down. Come on! Another scene, another run-in with a man in Scorpion armor. Jameson! Scorpion roared, knocking over everything that crossed his path before kicking the door off the hinges to the room. Jonah let himself in. Do you realize what you've done to me? He stared at his own hands for a moment before clenching their fists. I can't take this armored suit off without killing me! How do you explain this? This is the part Jameson could sink his hand. I don't know, Gargan, but give me some time. I can figure out something! No! Scorpion's tail curled to a strike. Dark forward like a red for a blue bird pulled the would have been corpse safely before it connect. Spider-Man dropped the area of teeth onto the paper, ruffling it to the floor before a panicking heap. Look, I'm not a fan of Jameson's by any means, he huffed, but I'm not going to stand by and let you kill him. Jameson scurried out the room. Gargan paused to pursue. Spider-Man started several strands of webbing in Scorpion's back, holding him in place long enough for Jameson to escape through the elevator. Straining, Spider-Man continued to pull his webbing. Scorpion's tail swung around, smashed to his ribs, sending Peter flying across the room until he crashed to the wall. Rubbing the eggs out of his head, Spider-Man peeked up at his much larger foe. This totally feels like a mistake. Fortunately, a dozen police officers filled the room before the situation could escalate, each with a firearm in hand. Gargan jumped out the window and scaled the wall. Peter slowly made his way back to his feet, but the officers pointed their guns in his direction, prompting Peter to raise his hands in a form of surrender. Hold it! I'm not the bad guy! He pleaded, shaking his head. Jameson huffed, emerging from the swarm of officers. Yes, you are, you wet menace! You and Scorpion attacked me and destroyed my office! Fighting a vigilante, Johnson stated the facts. I told you, Spider-Man is a criminal! Spider-Man shrugged his shoulders. He groaned in exasperation before the memory concluded. Peter in exasperation. His memory dissipated from the memory ball. Yeah. And here we go again. More scenes of the main six basically talking about how much of a godsend Peter is, and essentially doing character analysis. I can't freaking believe this! The main six are doing character analysis of freaking Spider-Man. Stuff that we comic book writers would be doing the same way. Not that I'm a comic book writer, but they are doing character analysis of why Peter's not doing stuff? Another scene came to life. They also saw the this time on robbery, with Peter dodging bullets with impossible grace, doing thugs without harming them. Another with Peter slung above heavy streets at high speed, pursues, protecting bystanders, managing to outmaneuver from other vehicles. He dove into flaming buildings, took down muggers, rescued hostages, prevented mass bombings, duked it out with mutated monsters, prevented train wrecks, found lost children, disarmed bombs, saved construction crews for collapsing buildings, fought giant rampaging robots, deflected alien invasions, fought mad scientists, averted missile incidents, saved an astronaut from a fiery death. Okay. that either had some bad things or some good things. Spared his citizens from horrible mutations, prevented animal stampedes, thwarted shapeshifter conspiracies, fought an outbreak of scaly dragon-like beasts called dinosaurs. Whoa, when did Peter help stop something invading from the Savage Land? Helped the woman deliver a baby, and in one noble cousin, gave a terminally ill child her dying wish. Oh, I've heard about that comic book story. Yes, it was a comic book story way before it was an awesome episode of Spider-Man. Yes, I said it was awesome. The recounting of Peter's memories continued, and as he went, he spit by faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and oh, I'm going to get sick! Until he created nothing more than a blur. Never some reason, Twilight decides she wants to count just how many people Peter saved. But she lost count in 2000. But Peter has also saved the world a few times. But then again, I think if any of you are fans, you know this. You know how awesome Pete's been. If you're reading this, you're Spider-Man fan. You know how awesome Spidey is. You know what he's done. It's like recounting how awesome Wonder Woman is. Thank God that fig didn't do that. It's like recounting how awesome Superman is. You are not reading this just because you're a pony fan. You're reading this because you have a little Spidey. But then he saw that his mask was torn, showing half of his face and unkempt brown hair. Pierre shook his head, freeing the cobwebs from his cranium, as well as droplets of blood that fell from a gash on his forehead. They all gasped out loud when a large bipedal monster jumped on Peter, uttering large screams of agony from a young man. Its body was as black as tar, with traces of white. A large spiral was splayed across his chest, and his blank eyes were the same as spires. Rather, Spider-Man's legends. Monster cackled, baring its sharp fangs to Peter as it lifted Spider-Man from the ground with a chokehold. Its snake-like tongue went about. Suddenly, its skin hissed. It peeled away his head, revealing a bloodheaded man underneath the black goop. He laughed at Peter. Symbiote, you gotta get rid of it before... Smirking, the man brought his free hand to join the other, using both to strangle Spider-Man. We are not as stupid as you, Parker. We've embraced each other. The symbiote reformed over his face, transforming the man back into a monster. We are now... Venom. Luna's eyes widened. Their resemblance was uncanny between the monster and Peter's alter ego. Her own heart froze, memories of her past resurfacing. She reached out, extending a trembling hand to Peter. Oh, holy creator, protect us, she whispered. It's the nightmare. What the